Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for coming. I hope you're having a good week. Today I'm going to be designing and prototype making a commander station for Magic the Gathering. My friend plays this game and has asked me to sort of come up with a commander station based off his drawings, and that's the two drawings that you can see on the page at the moment. I've also came in with some reference photos from Magic the Gathering, the logo, etc. We're just going to crack on and design something. I'm using SketchUp to do this in at the moment. I have an extension that you can export SVGs, which means then you can import into other drawing packages such as Inkscape. So I'm just starting off with a 200mm square box there, just trying to keep it small so it doesn't take up massive amounts of space on the table. And then I go in with the guides and just draw out a rectangle, thinking that I could use that for the dice. I changed that up and decided to go with like a sort of freehand sort of shape to fit in that hand. And I'm bringing in the logo for Magic the Gathering just to get reference points for the dials that I'm going to draw, or the dial slots that I'm going to draw next. And I'm thinking 70mm for them. So again, just using the guides within SketchUp to mark out the area where I think they're going to sit. Now that I'm happy with the guides, I'm just going to go in and draw those 70mm circles in, and then we'll make circles slightly larger than that, just so that there's room for them to turn within the board. You see the interlock there, so we just go in and remove the extra lines again. And then now I'm thinking about the baseboard and top board and where the bottom edge of that's going to sit. Now editing the curves so they're nice and smooth, you do that within the entity info window. So I wasn't actually happy with this line. I thought it came up too much and exposed far too much of the dial, so I've changed that up, and then I'm adding just little 3mm diameter circles there for the dials to spin on. Now I'm popping in some hex shapes for the dice to sit in. So here's where I remembered that I've not left enough room for the commander's card. I'm just moving some stuff across, inserting an area big enough for the card to sit in. And I moved those dice up to the top left just because it keeps that board size small. I've never played Magic the Gathering, but I've been led to believe that you want to keep it as small footprint on these types of things, just so there's not a huge amount of space being taken up on the table. Now that I'm happy with the overall layout, I'm just going to use the arc tool there to round over the corner so it's a bit more user friendly. So since the player board's all designed now, I'm just going to go in and I'm going to make those dials. So I'm just using a selection of circles and the protractor tool just to get my angles all right. So I went with 5mm circles, I believe, on this one. Yeah. So they'll indent 2.5mm into the circle itself. Once they're all drawn in, I'm just going to go back and remove the extra stuff that we don't need, which will be the outside side of the edge circle, like that, and turn it into a dial. And again, putting a 1.5 radius circle in the middle of there so it's got something to spin on. So now that I'm happy with the overall shape and stuff, I'm just going to duplicate the boards, and then we can remove and edit the boards to suit the layer that they will be. So I'm just reshuffling those hexagons. I actually change it all up again once I get in Inkscape, believe it or not. So the shape that you see cutting isn't the shape here. It's roughly the same, but I changed that dice tray up just because I wasn't happy with it. So we're removing all the bits that we don't need and then colouring it just to give us an idea of how it's going to look. I'm just using the in-program tools there to colour the bits and pieces. And now I'm making each face a component, which means I can stack them and get an idea of how it looks in 3D, which is the brilliant thing about SketchUp. It can be a wee bit fiddly just getting those boards onto the right plane and into the right positioning, but with some different camera angles there you can see it's a lot easier. I'd actually started and then forgot to put the cogs in, so I'm just going to copy and paste these just because it's easier. And then we'll slot them on top. So now that it's all built up, you can see we've got the slot for the dice, we've got the tray at the top for tokens or extra cards, we've got the cutout at the left hand side there for the commander card, and we've got the life tiles. So I go in on Inkscape and add a few more alterations before we can cut these out of cardboard. So now that we're over in Laser, I thought it'd be quite cool to show you the real-time speed of cutting this corrugated cardboard. It's really quite fast and simple, and low smoke as well from what you can see. Also want to give a big shout out at this point for Claire at Claire's Crafty Corner, who made me the awesome decals for the gantry there. Claire does some fantastic work over on our channel, so I'll link her below. So the finished product isn't actually going to be made out of cardboard. I just use cardboard because it's free basically, and it's about the same thickness as the plywood that I use, so it's a good idea to use this medium just for prototypes and stuff, because like I say, it's free and you're not wasting valuable product. What I will say though is you need to be very careful when cutting cardboard, paper, stuff like that, because it's a lot more flammable than wood, just because there's less material there, so it's easier for the laser to catch it on fire. So do be careful when doing this. Now that it's all cut out, I'm just going to move on to the kitchen table, where I'm using CA glue and the activator just to build it. I'm having to use a cocktail skewer because unfortunately my nozzle's all gummed up and blocked. You can also see the additions and alterations that I've made to the actual player board there. The dice tray, extra card tray at the top there's been changed, and I've also added in slots so you can see the numbers on the dial. So again, using cardboard is a brilliant representation of how the actual finished product might look, yet you're not wasting product, you're not wasting your wood that you pay for. So these dials move, but they don't move too much. There's a little bit of friction, which is brilliant, which means you're not going to accidentally knock them when you're playing a game. And there's the finished product. Well, finished prototype. So if there's any Magic the Gathering players out there watching this video, you got any suggestions or whatever, drop them in the comments. And as always, if you liked this video, please do like and subscribe. It really helps the channel. Thank you everybody. Bye.